welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today I wanted to explain to you or introduce to you, if you haven't heard about, a little bit about NESARA and GESARA. NESARA stands for the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and that's for the United States or for here. And GESARA just means globally. And actually it's been around for a long time, and we've tried to enact it or tried to get it going actually several times over the last few decades. And every time we try to, the evil or the bad guys stop us in different ways by either assassinations or making buildings fall down and other awful atrocities, and diverting attention away from this because it does not behoove them to enact the NESARA Act. And one big part of this is to take down the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System was put in place about 100 years ago, and it was an illegal act. It should have never happened. And when they did that, the Federal Reserve System, they make it sound like it's part of the government by calling it federal. It is not. It's a publicly owned or privately owned bank owned by the evil, powerful people in the world, and they use it to make money off of us, and they have for a long time. It's illegal, and they basically make us pay to use our own money. And as you can do more research online about NESARA, GESARA, there's tons of information online about it. You can learn about the history, you can learn about all the evil that's behind, that's stopped us from getting it going so far, all the corruption, all the blackmail, all the murders, all the awful things that's happened behind it. But for, and the Federal Reserve System, I had no idea any of that. I had to do a lot of research on that, and I just was clueless, which I'm so embarrassed. As an American citizen, you'd think I'd understand our money system, but I guess I didn't. And that is because, honestly, they don't want us to understand it. And so I encourage you to look into that as well. Our money is not backed by gold. They act like it is, but it's not really. Our money used to be backed by gold and silver, and it is no longer. And part of this NESARA, GESARA will make our money back by precious metals again, and make it actually be worth what it's printed on. So that is a wonderful thing. So I encourage you to look into GESARA and NESARA. I encourage you to look into the history of it. I encourage you to look into the Federal Reserve System. And I'll explain a little bit more as I go through the different components of this and why we want this to happen. I hope it is happening. I personally think that President Trump is proceeding through parts of this. He did not announce it because the past presidents who have tried to announce it and make it happen have just been taken care of or assassinated. So there's a lot of components in this, and the biggest one is that it forgives all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. So all your credit card, your mortgage, your car payments, any debts you have that's not due, not like if you owe your brother $20, if you owe your parents money, not that kind of debt, but any debt that you have with the lending organization will be forgiven. It'll be gone because it's considered illegal activity because it was set up under an illegal organization, which is the Federal Reserve. So that to me is huge. And they've made trillions and trillions of dollars off of people over the last 100 years, and we are still paying for that. So that's the thing people focus on first, and it is a big deal, but it's not the best thing about NESARA. It will also abolish income tax, and you see, how can we do that? Well, if you do some research on the Federal Reserve, you'll see that the IRS was actually developed to help pay back the money that we owe the Federal Reserve. Not 1 cent that we pay the IRS goes to pay for running the government like I thought that's what it was for. I thought that the money we paid the IRS ran our government, and not 1 cent goes for that. every penny we pay the IRS goes to pay the interest that we owe the Federal Reserve over the 100 years that we've been using that system. So it will abolish federal income tax, and so that's a good thing. So it also abolishes the IRS. We don't need the IRS anymore because we're not paying federal income tax. It creates a flat rate, non-essential, new item only sales tax revenue for the government. So we can run the government just on buying new items. That solves that problem. It increases benefits for senior citizens. It returns us to constitutional law. It establishes a new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after NESARA's announcement. So I personally hope this is happening. I hope it's happening right now. I hope it's happening because I hope we're not going to go through this election in a few weeks. I hope that he's going to announce that NESARA is being implemented, and then we can have the election after we get all this straightened out, after everything comes out, after everybody sees the big picture, what's really going on, and all the corruption that's going on, and people really know what they're voting on. Because right now people have no idea what they're voting on. All they see is what the media is feeding them, what the evil people are telling them, and it's all lies, in my opinion. I'm hoping this is what's going on. Time will tell. It monitors the elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups. It creates a new U.S. Treasury currency or rainbow currency backed by gold, silver, and platinum and other precious metals. Again, I hope this is happening. I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to invest in gold and silver and other precious metals, the actual physical bullion, not necessarily stocks. I would buy some gold and silver because we're going to have to, in my opinion, go to a gold and silver backed currency, and that's going to make gold and silver value go up. It will return us to a constitutional law to all courts for legal matters. It initiates the new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with the constitutional law. So we will not be using the Federal Reserve System anymore. That is an illegal business that is gone, and they don't talk about it in the news, but the president has already taken over the Federal Reserve System, and he is in charge of the Treasury Department, and this was done months ago. They talked about it in the news, but they didn't explain it, and it is amazing how they just don't talk about it. Do some research. So it will eliminate the Federal Reserve System. Again, that's the Federal Reserve System is what we currently use for our banking, which will be gone, and we'll go back to the U.S. Treasury. It restores financial privacy, retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. It ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide. It establishes peace throughout the world. And if you've been watching, maybe not mainstream media, but if you've been watching anything that's actually reporting what's going on in the world, the president has been meeting with foreign dignitaries and is creating peace in the world. He has signed peace treaties. He's actually been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prize awards, which has never been done before, but you won't see that on the mainstream media. They will not say anything positive or good about the president, because the people who own and pay for those companies are not aligned with that agenda, in my opinion. So he's already working on establishing that peace. It initiates a first phase of worldwide prosperity distribution of vast wealth, which has been accumulating for many decades. So that money that's been building up, that we've been paying to those elite few, all those trillions of dollars that we've been paying to those few elite families, has been building up and building up and building up. And that money is going to be confiscated for illegal activities that's going on. They will be arrested, they'll be prosecuted, and in my opinion, I hope they will be taken care of, and that money will be given back to the people it belongs to. The poorest countries in the world have been taken advantage of, and that money will be given back to them to help them prosper and to help with humanitarian purposes. that to me is the greatest thing about this NESARA and GESARA project. Countries like Africa and other poor countries that have just been ravaged and abused by other countries will now be able to utilize the wealth that is in their own country and not be taken advantage of by other countries coming and taking over. That is the whole purpose behind. This is the other really cool thing. It enables the release of new technologies such as alternative energy devices. So again, do some research on Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla invented over 100 years ago free energy sources. It was free. He wanted to give it free to everybody. Well, the people who own GE didn't want that. They're not going to make any money off of free energy, so they got rid of that. And the U.S. government was very influential in that and nipped that in the bud. So there are literally thousands of patents out there of things people have invented to make the world better, that are cheaper sources of either electricity or cheaper ways to do things, or better ways to do things, or healthier ways, or less pollutant ways to do things. And the government has suppressed it because the powers that be can't make money off of it. And in another video, I'm going to talk about how the government that is in charge now is trying to sell us on the fact that the world is going through global warming and all the pollutants we use and all the things we're doing to the earth. But at the same time, they are manipulating and making it happen. There are a lot of technologies out there that people have already solved these issues. There are cars that run off of water. They don't let that happen because guess what? You can't make money off of water. They want to sell you oil. So they're going to release these technologies. They're going to release patents for medicines that are cheap. Trump's already done this. He's letting medicines that are cheaper to be used. He's not letting the pharmaceutical companies gouge us with high prices. They don't like that. That's why there's a lot of problems. That's why a lot of people hate Trump. Trump is not buying or following the party line. That's why they hate him. That's why the media talks crap on him, because he is not playing the game. He's not playing the political game. That's why things are inverted. He is trying to switch it around, and I hope he's winning. I hope it's being inverted. I hope the switch is happening, because it needs to happen. The evil needs to be taken out, and I truly hope it is. Sorry, I got a little rant there. Got a little bit off GESARA and NESARA. So anyway, that's what's supposed to happen with GESARA and NESARA. I encourage you to look into it. I encourage you to do a little research on it. Again, lots of good benefits with that. Pays off your debt, gets rid of taxes, gets rid of the Federal Reserve, gets us back on constitutional law. It equalizes the money for all the different countries, and it ceases aggression. It releases technology. It releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian projects. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be beautiful. And we need people to start thinking about how that's going to look. What would that mean to you? How would your world change? What would you do differently? If you didn't have to go to your job that you hate every day, if you could do whatever you wanted, if your life changed that radically, what would you do? What would your life be differently? Okay? Me personally, I've been in education for over 30 years, and I'm burnt out. I'm done. I'm tired. This is my dream. My dream is to help you grow spiritually, to help you grow and learn how to become more spiritually enabled, how to get you to think outside of the parameters of a third dimension, how to get you to trust your intuition, how to get you to trust yourself, how to get you to think outside of the parameters that we've been programmed into. That's what my dream is to serve humanity in their ascension process, to help you to get into a higher vibration. That's what I'd like to do. I would like to be able to help serve you, help serve people to grow spiritually. So that's what I'm looking forward to is that change in my role. So think about that. Think about how that might change your life. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments box, and I'll be sure to get back to you. We will also leave a link to some of these different resources for you. And as always, I leave you with much love and light.